For my 100th Sulfur video, I managed to score an interview or Q&A or just a quick chat. Well, not quick. It was it was a pretty long chat with the devs of Sulfur Perfect Random. So what you're about to see is me asking them as many questions as I could possibly think of over the span of a week and a half, and also just some fun lore and interesting stuff about the future of Sulfur that you probably don't know because I hadn't heard it anywhere. Just a lot of love for Sulfur and a very fun conversation with two really cool guys, Anton and Simon. I probably left the introduction in. I was going to edit down a bunch of the stuff. I thought that was what I wanted to do, but actually I've changed my mind and I'm just going to throw it up all raw, exactly how it was. Unfortunately, at some point, my mic settings changed. I don't know how, and they lowered significantly. At some point, it might become a little bit harder to hear me and what I'm asking, but obviously what we really want to know is what the devs of Sulfur Perfect Random had to say, and hopefully it won't be too annoying when I start to get lower and lower and lower. I don't know how that happened. Once I checked, I saw in my sound settings that it had halved what it was supposed to be at. Very annoying. Nothing I can do about it now. But please, for the 100th Sulfur video, enjoy this interview with Anton and Simon from Perfect Random. First off, I'm Dot. You guys know that. But yeah. Nice to meet you guys. I know
Anton, and we have Simon.
I'm Simon.
Okay, and you guys are Perfect Random. First off,
Correct.
I want to say thank you for doing this with me, because this is my 100th Sulfur video, and I wanted to do something, different. I didn't want to, I don't know. I've been wanting to do this for a while, like have a talk with you guys, because obviously your game is awesome, and there's a lot of fans like me that just like really grasped onto it, which is, I mean, that must feel great.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like, especially having people making videos like you, like and in detail and like caring about the game a lot. That's super cool.
How does that?
Anton thinks it's super cool. I'm pretty much dead inside, so I'm just like, this good. Like I'm Gus from Breaking Bad, just like, excellent. It's good that it's working. The Finnish approach. It's good that it's working.
Hey, I mean, that's what it takes, right? For a team, you got to have all the characters. Everybody's got to work. Yeah. It's like It's Always Sunny. You got to have the wild card, the muscle, the brains,
the cynical one.
Yeah, I mean, we aspire to be more Finnish. Yeah. Well, we're Swedish, so we can never be like them. Like, just
want to be more like Sana, no facial expression, and go
stoic. Very stoic.
Well, so that's what the Finnish are stoic, and the Swedish are.
Yeah, so like we're neighbors and we have a lot in common, but they're way more. They view us like maybe how Canadians view Americans, like more. I mean, like more salesy type people, like enterprise, entrepreneurship, making money, selling things, and Finnish people are like quiet and make like really quality stuff.
We make Candy Crush. We make Candy Crush, and they make what's it called? My Summer Car and Cruelty Squad.
Wait, the Swedes made. I don't know. Is that cool to say the Swedes? Is that like
the Swedes? Yeah, that's fine.
No, that's a bit racist.
That's immediately. Making generalizations and then getting like offended the next second. No, so I mean, we do like there are some Swedish like indie darlings like
some of us call us
Hotline Miami. And
I didn't know the Swedes made Candy Crush though. That's like
that's Swedish.
I mean, that had everybody's grandma playing it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But the Finns made Angry Birds. So
damn. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy too.
Yeah, but then Angry Birds 2 or whatever was Swedish made. So
yeah, that's the most profitable Angry Birds game. So just adding that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I mean, Angry Birds is huge now. They got movies and everything. Would you guys ever do a Sulfur movie?
We'd love to. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure. It would have to be live action though.
Oh yeah.
Start Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren? He could probably play the Gravekeeper because he's kind of older and Dolph is old now. But who would play the father?
Oh, Edward Norton.
That would be good because Edward Norton needs kind of like a comeback. When's the last time we saw him?
Yeah, and it should definitely be sulfur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sulfur.
That
I mean,
makes sense.
that's how you revitalize a career is sulfur.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I mean,
It's
honestly, you guys, I play a lot of indie games. I've been doing that for a long time, and for your guys' first game, it's impressive, like how detailed everything is with the art. That was the first thing that jumped out to me. I was like, every run was like 100 new items I'd never seen before, and I was like, how are they capable of this?
Yes. So the thing is, I mean, we have been doing games or games adjacent stuff for like I don't know, fucking 10 years at least. So it's like at some point we were like, let's just let's just do it smart this time, and do it in a way where we sort of like we play to our strengths, etc. And the art style I'm doing is pretty much very. It doesn't take a long time to make these things for me because it's like pretty minimalistic. So it's like, okay, we can have a lot, and and ease off on the sort of like, hey, we're trying to make a triple A, double A art style or whatever that takes a lot of manpower and money and effort, and just like, let's just make stuff that we know that we can produce at a reasonable rate, and make a lot of it instead. So that's why we keep making stuff reasonably fast, and a lot of it. So basically, it's just me sitting in Illustrator drawing a bunch of random shit.
I mean, it works though. I mean, you say like we a lot. Like it really does feel like a collaborative effort because I thought there was one person making all the music, and then I was corrected when I tier listed the music. One of the musicians was like, "Hey, actually, I only made some of the songs. And all these people made all these songs." And I was like, "How does that come together so cohesively? How did you guys do that?"
Yeah, I don't know. It's like me and Simon arguing about things, and then we come to a point where we're like, these are good inspirations for this environment. And then we argue who should do it. And we have people we know that we really like and that we believe in. And we kind of just throw all these different, we make a playlist or something, we throw it their way. And we're like, do something with this vibe. And we just explain what we think would be the kind of the vibe of the biome and stuff. And then they do their thing, you know.
Yeah,
We let them do their thing.
And usually it comes back and it's not at all sort of like what we asked for, but it's still a sort of like, yeah, because we totally respect musicians probably more than we respect any other creative form, because like we're not very good at that, and we think that like it's just like very sound and audio, for me at least, is very sort of like a very basic, not in a bad way, but it's a like very sort of like basic thing. It goes into your ear, and it's like just sound waves, and it's just like, oh, emotion. It's like, it's not, the eyes are like a million fucking things, and it's like, oh, you interpret in a million ways, but the sound and audio is just like, it hits you in the brain, and then it sort of like translates somehow.
It's instinctive. Yeah. I mean, exactly. I have a 1-year-old, and he just learned how to start dancing, and it's the most natural thing he's ever figured out. Like,
yeah.
But
you just feel things like straight up.
But back to what you said about like you're not good at it. I think the reason a lot of people like myself are so like, I don't want to say obsessed, but it might be a little obsessed with like Sulfur and how refreshing it is because I don't have the capabilities, nor do I see it often, of such a well-made, put-together game. And it sounds like most of it is luck. Like you guys just happen to know the right people for the music, and you guys all know each other, and it like, I think that's what it is like why it captures so many loyal fans early on, is because like, how do you do it? I know I've said that like 6 times, but like, how did you guys do it?
Yeah, I mean, the plan was when it comes to music, the plan was pretty much in the beginning a big inspiration for how we went about and make this sort of like mixtape vibe, where it's multiple artists. It was like, I've been wanting to do that for a while because of the success of Hotline Miami, and like, we know those guys, and they are huge sort of inspirations to us, and they're like extremely talented. And like Dennis he's the sort of like, he's my sort of go-to person when it comes to taste. That guy he's just so good with his taste is fucking impeccable. He's just like, everything he likes, everyone should like. It's strange, but they pretty much had that idea. They pretty much went on to SoundCloud and shit and just looked for shit that they liked, and then they sort of licensed it and put it in the game, and it sort of like became this sort of like playlist almost of what they thought was good and that fit their game. So that was the sort of idea that we sort of like should also do something like that, along with the fact that being a game music person is in games is like it's a real hustle. There's a lot of people that want to make music for games. So we know of many game musicians or musicians in general that sort of like need jobs, and so we're just like, hell, what the hell? Let's just give them all a job.
Yeah, we can keeping our eyes and ears open for people who approach us, and we listen to I don't know, maybe I listen to 50 different SoundClouds of random people contacting us and stuff. And one of the people who wrote music for Sulfur, I actually met at a bar in Stockholm. He was like attending one of these game events with friends, and one of his friends, she was like wingmanned him and was like trying to talk me into like bringing him in to write music. And I was like, sure. Her pitch was he makes really cool ice music. Like he made like icy like songs, and I was like, all right, we don't have an ice biome. Like that's the only biome we don't have. But sure, I'd love to listen to it.
Crystallized echoes.
Yeah, and I just assumed it would be like boring and nothing. And then he was like, all his stuff is really cool. Like he does a lot of cool. He did the sewers music, one of the songs there.
And the town music.
That music is. I mean I don't want to talk just about the music because I like.
I mean, love the music, so.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down a bunch of stuff because, like, I'll be transparent. I've never actually done like an interview like this. I've interviewed some friends for like a goofy thing I did a while back, but so I don't want to get lost on the music. But what you're saying about the sewers is a really good point. Like, every level does have a vibe to it. There's like a mystery to the music in the sewers and in town. Like when you're running through it, like it makes you realize that like you really need all of these important pieces to make a good game. And music is a crazy important piece, and it takes a good game to have that realization.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Like a lot of people sort of like wait with the sound and music for last, because it's like a lot of time there's not a dedicated sound or music person on the teams when they make games. But so it like comes in as a sort of afterthought. But as I usually say, you can pretty much make a shit game feel good by having good music and sound, but you can never make a what was I trying to? Anton,
but a good game can be pretty boring if you don't have sound. Like
exactly.
Put it on mute, and a good game can be like without life. It will puts life into games for sure. So yeah, we have really good sound people too. We worked with Sonigon, they're called. Like a trio now. They were a duo, but they added a guy in Sweden as well. They make amazing stuff. They made the sound for V Rising and some other games. So
damn, it's crazy how like hard it can be to, because I've never heard of that trio. Like some people in development deserve more recognition than they actually get. You know, like. Yeah, sure. I should know who that is. Everyone who plays Sulfur, the first thing that jumps out of them is the art design is really fun. That's the first thing. You're like, this looks cute. You play it and you're like, okay, I'm getting shit on left and right. It's really hard, but it still looks cute, and they're fun, cartoonish style. And then the music, you're like, wow, this is awesome music. So those guys deserve more respect. You said they were called Sonogram?
Sonigon is the company name. So and then we have 4 different musicians that we probably can list in this.
Well, like the one in the caves is called Christopher Hedborg. He's actually a programmer, and he's like just hobby musician. And he just sends me SoundCloud stuff every once in a while, and I was like, yeah, no, let's have this. And we sort of just bought the license to his songs, and he was like, okay, and we put them in there, and it's like it bopped. It had a bunch of sort of like Memphis rap. Sort of like triple six mafia vocals on it in the beginning, so we had to cut that out for
for legal reasons. We were like, I don't know if we can take this risk. A lot of samples we had to cut out. Like there's a lot of.
But in the beginning, it was really awkward, being like, why can't we hear the sort of like rapping about all this shit in the background while we're playing? But yeah.
Yeah, but that's
it
kind
took
of
a turn. So
yeah.
it
We
never-
really liked that, and we liked that it was different, and it felt different. So we figured the mixtape thing could make the game be different, you know, and not be like background music, but actually have melody and personality and stuff.
The
Yeah,
stuff that you,
sorry.
sorry, I was gonna say the stuff you could listen to without playing the game, which isn't always easy to do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we want everything to have its own sort of identity. For me, when it comes to game music, I sort of stopped enjoying game music around when Halo was released, because that's when I'm like, oh shit, now everything is just a fucking symphony, and you can't really hear anything because it's just like a carpet of sort of like notes, sort of like. It's like, oh, there's a melody in there somewhere, but it's not fucking 8-bit music, you know. They have to find a middle
Like
ground
Mega
there.
Man, you know,
Yeah,
or
find something,
Castlevania.
find a middle ground where it's actually memorable. I mean, of course, the main theme for Halo is memorable, but other than that one, I can't remember one fucking song from that game.
It's probably
even
only
though it's-
memorable because you spend so much time in the main menu listening to it. You know, you
Yeah,
started it every
probably.
day.
Probably. But NHS music, like 8-bit music, that sort of like codes itself into your brain because just like bits. It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
so-
sometimes even like old Mario music will just pop into my head, and it's just like, how do they? I mean, it's almost propaganda. You know, it's like brainwashing.
yeah.
Speaking of like all these different countries, I just wanted to ask without saying Sweden, because that'd be kind of cheating, because I would say America here too. But what country? Well, actually, I'd probably say Italy. Actually, what country has the best food? I mean, you guys made so many different meals from different countries. In your opinions, what country outside of Sweden has the best food?
We talked about this so many times. If we could just eat, like, have one cuisine the rest of our lives, what would we pick? And I've always been like undecided between Japanese, French, or Italian, and it switches between days.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess I'm one of those. I'm the untraveled guy, so I haven't been anywhere. I've eaten Danish hot dogs. That's pretty much it. Beyond that, I only live here. So I mean, I'm a huge Bolognese fan. Team Bolognese in Discord, shout out. So I would say Bolognese is that's Italian, right?
Right, but
Yeah.
not the bolognese we eat. Like,
No,
Swedish cuisine.
Bolognese.
Swedish cuisine was like boring as fuck. Like we had nothing, no ingredients, no nothing. And then during the 1900s, French cuisine entered Sweden, and we had these like actual, cream and creme fraiche, and we started putting that in everything, and we started kind of religiously making everything with sauces and like cream based sauces
Yeah,
for everything. So we put cream in our bolognese. I mean, people are gonna kill me for saying this, but it's true. Like, most people do that.
But I do that. And I'm
Yeah,
totally
you put a lot of
Bolognese,
cream and butter in your bolognese.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Cream.
But so it's very French, like the Swedish cuisine. Like, so we probably always kind of fall into or like lean into like putting cream and butter and herbs and stuff.
But we want to say Japan because we
Japan.
like Japan the most.
Yeah, I like if I travel somewhere and enjoy the food the most, it's in Tokyo for sure.
Yeah. I would like to enjoy that the most because it's the coolest food, but it probably tastes like shit.
No, it's you're gonna love it. We're gonna go to
Yeah, I mean, I've eaten sushi and stuff, but I heard the sort of candy and desserts and stuff are just like boring as hell.
Yeah, they're really bad.
Because
bad.
Swedish everything has like a ton of sugar in it.
Well,
and butter.
Yeah.
Japan, they like to, with their candies, I've noticed, because I go to the international markets a lot. So, I mean, I guess I just have that level of ignorance for it. But I've noticed a lot of their candy is almost like repurposed American or like British candy. Like, they have like Dars bars apparently a lot, and Hai Chew, which are not popular here, although they like started
They're
here.
Kit Kats, man. I bought like exotic Kit Kats as presents for coming home from Japan. I regret it so much. Like, nobody could eat anything. Like the green tea Kit Kats and like, I don't know, tomato Kit Kat. Like, it's not candy. It's just
unacceptable.
food.
That's
No, it's like,
crazy.
it's weird. It's like full of beans, and it's not like they can't make desserts at all. Like, French desserts are the good desserts, or You know.
Yeah, French does. Speaking of weird food, have either of you? Because like I'm sure you guys remember the meme. Have either of you had surströmming?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really bad.
Is it
Yeah.
okay? So the
No, I
Swedish
mean,
people don't like it.
it's like you have to kind of. It's almost like psychedelic or like out. It's so weird because the smell is so bad, and you kind of have to go through it, like putting that stuff in your mouth that you're like your whole body tells you not to, and then once it's like entered your body, you're like a part of it. So like you're a part. It's like you're in I don't know, like a cult, and like you drink the Kool-Aid, and then you're like, okay, one of you now, and then you can actually eat it because like you can't smell it anymore because it's in you. It's weird. Like
It's like those people who eat very hot sauces.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Okay,
Maybe.
that's a good comparison. Yeah.
yeah, except it smells like the worst sewage you can imagine. Like don't.
I've never had it.
Like when I watch like these American YouTubers do it, it's like so you open the can underwater because it's like so fermented that when you open the can, it's gonna just spray everywhere. So that's the first mistake people do. Is like they open it just regularly and they will spray everywhere, and it smells like shit.
Kind of like
Like,
getting
it smells
skunked.
like- Yeah, you're getting skunked. So like if people do that in their American apartments, I'm like, sorry, your living room is fucked now. You have to buy a new
accurate.
carpet. Like you're screwed. So that's you can't do that. You open it underwater. You should preferably be outdoors, and then you put it in like a soft wrap, bread with like potato, sour cream, onions, and you put a little piece of it together with other things to the kind of blend it.
So
And then some people love it. My dad loves it. We do it every year, but we're from the north of Sweden where that's like tradition. So
you can eat it sensibly. Like you don't have to be crazy.
no, you should definitely not eat them alone. You should never like don't. Yeah, there's a like a ritual to how you do it.
Yeah,
to,
you
like,
need,
stay
you need a
alive.
trip sitter to do it.
Basically, yeah. An old Swedish man will like guide you through.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go on Craigslist and find an old Swedish man to guide me through my surströmming journey.
Surströmming shaman.
That sounds like a more interesting YouTube video than just eating it. Be like hiring a Swedish person to teach you how to prepare it and like coach you. That sounds kind of interesting.
I have a really, really sensitive like sense of smell, and I have to power through that, and I can eat like the bare minimum, like I don't know, like tiny free piece of like, I'm not a fan, but I get exposed to it every year, so.
Yeah, Anton and the rest of the team knows a lot about food and international food. So like, and I just draw the food. So I like, and I also write the descriptions for like the flavor texts. And so sometimes it's just like me being like, "What the fuck is this even?" And that's sort of like what I write.
So those are really just little inside jokes. When it's like
A lot of it,
just, like, brushes it off.
but that's really a lot of it, and it's a lot of like passive aggressive stuff that I don't like because I designed what the food should be because I'm very opinionated about food. So a lot of it's like I don't know, like salty comments that I think like like the Spanish omelette is so shitty because like I've so many times ordered tortilla. Because I think it's gonna be or whatever it's called. Like the misname I can never remember, but they just don't name it properly. And I'm thinking I'm gonna get like a bread with like cheese, and it's fucking an omelette every time. And it's like,
It's such a fucking stupid anecdote because we had no idea what he was talking about. And he was like Spanish omelette, and it's like you went to order a bready taco something, but all you got was this lousy omelette, and we're just like, what are you talking? Okay, let's put it in.
And I'm like, people are gonna understand. I can't be the only one because it's like it's a mistake, and people call it different things, and sometimes you get a fucking omelette, and it's maybe it's a European mistake.
But the sort of shit that no one would get because it's only we who would get it. That's why we do this, pretty much. That's what makes us happy.
I think that adds to the charm though, because you're like, especially learning that there's personal beef behind Spanish omelets is like, it's charming. It's like it's literally the definition of like bleeding onto it and just like putting yourself into it, which is the only way to make something good.
Yeah. So if there's nasty ways to make food or like salty comments, it's probably from me because I don't like it. Like mushi, it's like unnecessarily like it looks delicious, but it's not. It's boring, really boring, like Japanese dessert. Like you're gonna see in Fortress, you make it from things you shouldn't be making food out of. Probably.
There's a little sneak peek, a little Fortress sneak peek there, huh?
Yeah.
So speaking of, like, we'll get back on track because food, I mean, it is a core piece to the game, which again is another one of those layers. I mean, if you were, those like YouTube videos where it's like the sulfur iceberg. I mean, there's a lot to it to just even like. There's like a running meme with some people. For me, I've mentioned multiple times, I'm never gonna tier list the oils because I'm like, there's like 400 of them. There's no way I can sit there and be like, this one's better than this one. And this one does more than this one. And like, still, sometimes people are like, hey, tier list the oils. It's like, I'm not going to do it, dude.
Yeah.
We haven't tier listed the oils either.
It's impossible. Like, we just like, I don't know. We just try to make like every type of positive thing that you could do. And then every negative thing that you also could do. And then try to find a fucking reasonable name for the thing. Like, that's why I'm like, what the hell am I gonna call this? Like, some of them, like in Swedish, it sounds ridiculous when I've seen them translated all of these.
Because we translate, so we write everything in English and then we translate it to Swedish because we want to play in Swedish because it's funny. Because nobody translates games to Swedish, so it sounds like an 80s cartoon. So we think it's hilarious, and that's just a gift from us to ourselves, I guess. I don't think anybody plays in Swedish.
It's more swear words in the Swedish version as well. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because we assume that no one's actually playing it in Swedish, so like we're not going to get any flack for it, so it's fine.
Smart. What? So this is something when I started like the end game of Sulfur, I was like immediately turned on to the fact this reminded me so much of Borderlands and the guns. So I was wondering, like, what were the biggest inspirations when you guys were making Sulfur? What were the games that were like, I want something from this one and this one?
For me, it was like we wanted the sort of like extraction gimmick of Tarkov, and as well as the sort of like the loot ability of like Diablo, while we had the controls of Counter-Strike. And the weapon system, modding system of Noita. That was what we wanted. Like, of course, we like making the weapon system of Noita is pretty much like we didn't have the resources to do that. It would be impossible. But I mean, we're getting there, like getting closer and closer because now we can actually have like a fucking million bullets without it lagging your computer entirely as it did before. But I would say that that's the main. Like, I think Counter-Strike was a lot because we were sort of thinking when we did this game, we were like, we want to make a game that we actually like and understand, like why it's good. And we played a bunch of Counter-Strike 1.6 and 1.3. I started playing Counter-Strike in beta 5 at like 2000 or something. It was like old, very old stuff, and also Diablo. So we're like, how about we just like make the controls like as similar to Counter-Strike as we can with an ADS on it as well. Sort of, so that people will sort of just put their hands on the keyboards and they will know what to press automatically, and we don't have to be like we have to press these million different buttons to do what you're supposed to do. Which should feel natural for people that are 30 something. That was the main thing, because we wanted to like the game, because I believe that if you try to do something because like, oh, I think this is going to be popular, but it's nothing that I would enjoy, then you don't understand what would make it work. So it's easier to judge if something is good, if it's something you actually would want to play yourself. So that's the sort of like perfect random MO at this point.
Yeah, and like a repeating kind of design philosophy has been to keep it having like frictionless kind of vibe to what you're doing. Like there should be a high stakes. And I always like wanted more kind of, I don't want to waste players' time. So it's like when we started, it was just like very hard death. Like even if you fell down into a hole, you just died immediately and start over.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very hardcore. And then we kind of tried to. Early, I was really like wanted to cushion the experience a lot. And one important thing I think that made me more comfortable with the design was when we started ranking up guns. for every enemy you kill, essentially. So you feel you're getting something. You can't just run past enemies and not miss out on anything, but you're actually missing out on experience. And when we decided to, when you rank up guns, you get these slots where you can put things on them. So because I really wanted to I played Returnal a lot for PS5. And I think they do so many cool things where their weapon upgrades and that kind of sentiment of not wasting players' time, but you're actually getting something out of your experience. And that game does that very elegantly throughout the game. You're kind of making the game easier and easier because you're always leveling up abilities that you get on your guns that you find randomly. So that's more cushion than the game we're making, which is more you can actually lose what you built. And that's a big piece of Simon's philosophy as the director of the game, that it should be a lot of randomness and very punishing deaths.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So let's put it this way: like as a Noita, as an example, is a game with like 80,000 something positive reviews. They have like 4,000 reviews that just hate the game for it being hard. And I remember like. And our game is like, it's the form factor of our game is the sessions is pretty long. You might play for 40 minutes and then lose all your shit, or 60 minutes and lose all your shit. But in Noita, it's usually like 5 minutes and lose all your shit, or 2 minutes and lose all your shit. But that's just like something we'll just have to accept, like that you can lose all your shit.
I feel like that is important in a roguelite, though, because to me, gaming kind of held your hand for a while, and then the roguelike genre came out. And it taught you to let go, stop being so possessive, and like kind of branch out and embrace the randomness of the runs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I would also like to shout out Ivan. It's a roguelike called, it's some Latin name that I won't pronounce to make a fool out of myself, but it's like Ivan, it's an abbreviation. It's a roguelike, a Finnish roguelike, of course. Shout out to Finland. But it's like pretty like a freeware. Like that is a game that sort of inspired me a lot for wanting to make Sulfur the way it is. And that's a game where it's like the sessions is usually like 5 minutes long, and then you die, or you sort of, and then you, So I played that game for a year for like I don't know how many thousands of death until I finished it, and I was like, it really got me hooked on the idea that you just like you felt that you can just start over and you might get the solution for the long-term problem, like on floor 1 or something. So why not just give it 5 minutes, and then just like keep restarting it. And it's like, that's an appeal. I guess it's sort of the same appeal as playing a MOBA or something and starting at level 1 and 20 minutes later you're at max level and then you want to do it over and over and over.
And I'm a Dark Souls fan. So it's like that's always been like a big inspiration, I think, for like how you can also reward players for their successes, but still not too much handholding either. Like not explaining too much and just like, here, expose people to something and they'll figure it out.
It's kind of like it's smart because you said like Counter-Strike was a big inspiration. It's almost like competitive single player shooter. It feels competitive at times. Yeah. I've had multiple sessions, even, I'm sorry, but in a couple YouTube videos when I started playing the game, at the end of them, I was like, fuck this. I'm never playing this again. I'm done. There's got to be other games. And then 3 hours later, I was recording my next video, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you just need to step away and come back, and you're like, and I haven't felt like that since, but early on, I was like, why is this so addicting? It's pissing me off.
That's definitely how that's the friction we want, right? And that's what I felt about Dark Souls when I played it the first time. I was like, what is happening? What the fuck? Who made this? This is pointless. Why are you wasting my time? And then I couldn't let go of it. I was like, what if I don't get hit by that boulder falling? What if I just dodge that? And then you want to get that kind of experience, right?
Yeah, but we definitely didn't assume that people would get hooked on it to the point that we play like hundreds of hours in the demo.
No.
like that we were like, oh, that I guess we did something. I don't know.
Yeah,
What
yeah, we were happy to see that. Yeah.
what were the expectations? If that was the case, what were you
I
expecting?
mean, my
10, 20 hours, and you
yeah.
get everything in the game, right?
Yeah,
And it's like,
we accept it for sort of like most people would probably play it through in 8 hours and be like, okay, cool, and then move on, and then we'd be happy because, but then people sort of like they wanted to play more and they wanted to be more about more stuff. So they pretty much like start making their own sort of like reasons to play it again. But in reality, most of the things that was supposed to be roguelike-esque in the beginning, etc., was sort of like a thing that was just like add flavor to a sort of single player roguelike experience that would be more along the lines of something streamlined. But then now it's just this sandbox because we went early access. So now we sort of have to sort of like accommodate for that. But it's like, why wouldn't we? It's just so like community is growing and everyone's just like on there, and so it just,
we love them for caring so much about our little game. It's
but it's better to lean into it, I feel, the entire thing.
Well, I feel like you guys are doing, because early access obviously has a reputation. I would say it's still in the red a little bit, but I swear that your guys' approach to early access is the accurate way to do it. It does seem like there are things you guys have added that maybe initially you weren't planning on having, like the weapon workbench. Felt like, I mean, I don't know, you guys could tell me right now, but it felt like you heard reception and you were like, well, let's make it better.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. We definitely listen to the feedback we're getting. I mean, a lot of times, like most of the time when we do ignore certain feedback, it's because we already have like an idea for like that for the full game that we just haven't gotten to yet. Like there's a like we pretty much have the entire game sort of planned out. So when people are like, here's a suggestion, we usually be like, okay, let's put this at the end of whatever else we're planning to do first. So like sometimes people are like, why aren't you doing this now? Or like, what? Like, but it's like, but there's other things that we know will make the game better that we need to get in there. The main, we really want to get to the point where we can actually loop, they can go through the entire game loop and go back and be like, you can finish the game and then you can keep playing after that, instead of just being like, hey, you finished the last area we have and now you're back. Wait for 1,000,000 years for the next one. Like, it'd be nice to sort of like connect that circle and then work on like how do we improve on everything that's just like not good. So that's the main approach. While we also, of course, need to do fan service for people to come back and play more.
Yeah, but the workbench is a good example. A crazier example is that day one we had Chinese modders who made storage like mods, so you could just add more storage to the game, like and. Yeah, you covered this, and it's just like that was a strong hint that we should probably like put that earlier in our development, because we had plans for that, but like that would be like added later when people actually cared to play that long, that you would actually store like more than, I don't know, 8 guns or something. But that happened day one because they already played the demo, so they were just like they were into that.
Yeah, I mean, we totally assumed that most of the time people would lose their gear and the chest would probably be enough to keep whatever you need to go on. We didn't expect everyone to sort of like, because the game isn't done, like the only thing you can actually do to make any sort of progression for yourself is hoard shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, I guess we're gonna please the hoarding people now.
Yeah, and also like
audience.
We thought that you're gonna sell your guns, right? And you're gonna buy something else. So they're like, oh, you're always gonna have like your best like arsenal and keep that and sell the rest. But that's not how people are playing the game. They want all of it, like keep all of it would be the dream for.
The
and we did not know that would be the case, like because that's not how I play. But of course, we are used to the game, so we are like this. It's hard to kind of pretend that the stakes are that high because we can just spawn in new objects, right? Spawn in a new gun, so it won't never feel the same as if you're like saw it once and then you lost it forever.
And I mean, it's totally understandable that when it's like, okay, I finished everything, So now I need to set up some arbitrary goals for myself to what I'm supposed to do now, and then the brain works like that, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to collect all of the oils. They're going to take up my main stash, and it's going to be like, okay, you do that, and So I mean, hopefully, like we're going to add more arbitrary things for people to care about. Meanwhile, while the game is being completed.
That's a cynical way to put it.
I mean, playing a game is arbitrary in general. So
it's
true, but it's fun. I mean, it's fun. It's better than most things. You know, games are great. Like that,
better than heroin or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that shit.
Don't do drugs, everyone.
That's positive. I like that. That's we just added to the wholesome meter. That's good. I saw a Reddit post from you guys around when I started playing the game, and I was, in bed, and I was looking at stuff, and I remember, I might be able to find the screenshot of it because I had it somewhere. One of you guys was on a Reddit post. It was probably Anton. I know you handle a lot of the social media stuff. And you had said you want a lifespan similar to Dead Cells, which I believe was like 10 years or something. Is that still the goal, the dream?
Yeah, I mean, we just we think that it would be great if the game if people still enjoy it. There's new players, then we want to keep adding to the game, basically. So that would be the dream scenario, that it's popular enough that people care about the game in 10 years' time. But you cannot always predict how that will end. But we definitely want the game to have a longer life cycle than it shouldn't end at 1.0.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we have a bunch of more ideas that we sort of had to sort of like cut down on for it to be a reasonable. So we have stuff that we want to add beyond. It's just that. We just need to make sense from a sort of like perspective of if there's still enough players, so we're going to keep doing updates because we're not tired of it yet. So, which is pretty much, I think, a relatively unique thing because most developers just feel like I don't know, what year are we at? 3, 4?
Yeah, 4, I guess.
Yeah. Most of the time people just want to move on from the project they're in, but we just like. There's just so many things that haven't done yet, or that we wanted to do from the beginning that we haven't been able to put in yet. That it's there's a lot to come.
Yeah, we just passed 150,000 units sold as well, and we have that roadmap milestone thing that we kind of promised that if we sell 200,000 copies, we will eventually try to make multiplayer for the game, which is also like a big project on its own.
I definitely want to talk about that because, like, as someone who encourages engagement, I love commenting, I love checking the comments and talking with people. And multiplayer and console release are the two biggest things I've seen people people are like, I want to buy it, I'd love to buy it, but I can't play with my friend. So, I mean, I know multiplayer, like you said, it's almost like making a new game, because you've got to scale enemies, health, or the amount of them. And what would be the multiplayer if it was to come to fruition?
I mean, it's because it's also like almost, as you say, like almost its own game because there's so many things we can't predict, like problems we can't really like imagine that will just happen when you're trying to make a multiplayer game and network things. And
exactly. And I mean, what you're talking about when it comes to the balance, like that's not something that, like, first and foremost, I would assume that what we would do is try to just make it possible to play two people and just like run through the game and play and enjoy, like, before we actually think about balance at all. Because the most difficult part about making this is going to be to sync everything and have it run okay and not lag and stuff like that. Because everything is like when there's a client and a host, and like that one kills something, then that needs to be synced to the other, like everything. So we need to decide what's to be synced, and it's a process. We need someone who's really good at that to help us. And
then like put in like and add the element of like I have 1,000 bouncing bullets.
Yeah,
and then like
that.
In the technical department of like networking things, physics is like the arch enemy. So like because physics has randomness to it. So if there's like the least amount of difference in when something happens and when the physics happens with forces who are happening at that exact same moment, that's gonna change. You know, the butterfly effect. That happens in games all the time.
Yeah.
So you do rollbacks and you pretend it's actually, but it's like somebody has to just decide what's happened physically, and syncing that up, the more projectiles.
Yeah. You will sync as few times as you possibly can, like so, and simulate most of it on the local computer thing. So we could be like, yeah, you shoot, and then you just send the shot to the other person's computer, but then might be a barrel in the way on the client computer, but on the host, the barrel had rolled a bit further, so then the bullet passed and it killed a guy, so he's alive on your screen, but not on the other person's screen. And it's like, we don't want to deal with that shit, so we're gonna have to have someone do it.
We have a really smart person do it.
Yeah.
So we have a guy for it. Shout out Tobias, he's currently porting the game to console. So he's the guy optimizing the game.
He is a brainiac.
We
thank him for everything that's faster now. We have to have him to thank for pretty much.
Yeah, so he's a contractor, and we signed with him a year ago. So he's been working a full year optimizing the game to get to consoles. So he's like, whenever people ask, like, I assure you, we're working on getting it to console. We have to get to 1.0, finish the game, and he's working every day to make it run perfectly as well as it can.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of runs on my sort of like my TV shit laptop with an APU, like built-in integrated graphics card, like I don't know, 60 to 120 FPS, and it's like League of Legends doesn't do that on that computer. So it's like, I'm totally happy with where we're at, and we're getting even closer, because I mean, our baseline is Nintendo Switch 1, so we need for it to run well on a Switch 1 with 4 gigs of RAM, and so it's gonna run on everything.
Yeah, that's what we hope. Yeah, we just need to have some GPU stuff left. It's like CPU, not very heavy. Doesn't demand a lot of RAM, so it's some GPU stuff left. And then
that's also a reason why sometimes it's like content related things take a little longer, because we get super busy with sort of like new ways of doing the same shit we've already been doing, but we're doing it over again. Sort of like me going in and placing new types of decals that run faster, and look at remaking how the sprites for the enemies work and stuff like that, and sort of like how the damage for the weapons work for it to run faster. So we pretty much remade everything, like, I don't know.
A couple of
times. Because for it to run faster, and that's just the way it is. And then we're sort of like, fuck yeah, let's Christmas update, just add some snowballs. And
I mean, that's like ADHD in game design. It's like, hey, why don't we take a break and just add a GIMP mask with a Rudolph nose to just trip everybody up? I've not seen a single person who responds to the Rudolph nose or the used rubber without like losing their shit.
Someone is actually using the Rudolph nose as a night vision thing. It thinks we actually made it.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, we can see better in the forest with the
really.
Yeah,
that's
like,
awesome. That's so cool.
Like, this was intended to be a joke that you sort of like didn't use for anything, but it works for me.
Nice.
The Rudolph. Yeah.
It's like, I wrote down a couple of things that if you guys don't want to answer, because I know you guys like to have a little mystery, let the player find out as we go along, or maybe it's not come to full potential yet. It's not all there yet. I had a couple of those, so you guys can feel free to tell me no to any of these. These might be considered some hard balls, if that's all right. First off, what the fuck is the crypt key, and why did it just start showing up?
It's always been there, I think.
Really?
It's just a rare drop. Yeah, it's just a rare drop.
Oh wow, yeah, because I didn't see it until like 250 hours in, and I was like, what? And
it's in the like there's multiples of the fourth wall breaking shit, but there's multiple loot tables in the game. And this is part of the sort of like global loot table, which is like pretty much every item in the game, and has a low chance of spawning. And they have
technically the chance of spawning a crypt key was higher when we released the game. than it is now. Because
Really?
we added more items, yeah. So technically, now we're explaining how the global loot is, but that's just every
I
item
mean,
in the game.
just ask the modders. They know exactly how
They
it
know.
works.
They already know. Yeah, they figured it
Like
out.
if you want to know, then you know. If you want to cheat, then you can cheat. We don't care. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do we tell that? I mean, it's a thing that happens in the future of the game.
Okay, that's.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, including myself, kind of assume that it's not in the game yet because I spent a whole stream, maybe 2.5 hours, combing through every door. I mean, I probably look like a jackass to you guys. If you would have seen any of you seen it, probably laughing your ass off watching me run into sewers.
I heard you talk about it, but I didn't see that specific episode. But I heard you like ask about like what is this for? But it will have future purposes at some point.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason that those stuff sometimes these things are in there is because we sort of assumed that we would have already had that area in by now, but we don't. So it's not there yet. But I mean, you can save them; they will be useful later.
That's good to know. I think a lot of people have, including myself.
Yeah.
See the shiny thing you can't sell, and you're like, okay, that's got to be important. Like,
Remember, save all your flat screen TVs in your inventory. It's very important.
that's got to be the flat
That was
screens
a
and the
joke.
paintings.
Everybody, don't do that. That was a
Don't
joke.
do it. Don't do it. Sorry.
So what about? I mean, you kind of mentioned that you wanted to add the more arbitrary things. Like, are there any game mechanics that you're working on or plan to work on that we might see? Like, for example, like melee items instead of just the sword, armor enchantments, or maybe even fishing.
Funny you should ask.
We kind of have some plans for that we want to do like something with that. Yeah, we haven't technically implemented anything yet, but we have design ideas
for the melee
exactly
parts.
that
Not
thing you mentioned.
not fishing, at least not yet.
Not fishing.
But
we
I mean,
talked about
also,
fishing since like we had the first prototype of the game, but it also like makes no sense. Like it's such a simple thing that of course you want fishing, but it's like a lot of work. It's like for that to be fun or
we need to make enough fish. I mean, that's not the problem really, but
I think what makes myself and some others want stuff like fishing is the church element of the game accidentally maybe adds like a cozy game feeling to it. You're like, oh, this is home. I teleport home, I'm safe. I want to fish, I want to garden, I want to decorate.
Yeah. There's loose ideas for having a garden, actually.
We talked about gardening too. So we have similar like
there is
ideas of stuff we want to do in between. Like, oh, this would be.
But
cool.
we have learned to prioritize the sort of stuff that is sort of like one-off things that sort of like, okay, this is not contributing to the forwardness of like closing the loop and then sort of looking at the entire things. Like those get sort of like pushed back unless we know that like, okay, there's an update coming out or like a sale or something like that, and we want something to sort of like make people feel like they want to come back. Then we add something and come up with something, or takes one of those and add it back. But I would say the melee thing is something we're doing pretty much.
Ooh.
We're testing out right now, and working on, as well as I mean, at a certain point we would want to. I think we're looking at sort of like increasing the amount of like some sort of like fetch quest stuff, or like find this item for me stuff for the dialogues for the NPCs.
Would be fun, yeah.
That's something we've discussed. That's a mechanic I think would be nice for sort of like finding a reason to do shit. Also Steam achievements naturally and stuff like this. So that's and also of course the endless mode that we have at the last end of the.
I can't wait for that one. To me, that's when the roguelite becomes full. I think every good roguelite needs an endless mode. That's where you check your power level. That's where you check yourself to make sure you're actually good at the game you're playing. Like
So that's the idea. The idea is like we have like 2 modes or 2 more play modes that we want to sort of like experiment with and sort of like add in the end. I'm not going to talk too much about them because they might not necessarily be exactly the way we'll say them. Like we're just going to have to test out what works and what doesn't work. But in general, they're like 2 different modes. That's what I want to make. Shout out to Dash for one of the modes that he wanted to make, and it's a good mode. I think.
not saying which one, but it sounds great, Dash.
Yeah.
We love you.
I mean, I understand that. You don't want to make promises and then people hold on to it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're creating something, they're gonna hold it over your head, and then you don't want to give people a reason to stop enjoying something.
No, I mean, we what we did is sort of like we promise the roadmap, pretty much. Like that's the basic promise, and then like there's gonna be more stuff beyond that, but we're not gonna promise anything else.
But we don't want to say it because the people want it tomorrow.
And we're sort of like already sort of like doing a bunch of shit that's not on the roadmap. So I guess you can expect more of the stuff that isn't on there as well.
That's good to hear, because like no one was expecting the storage, no one was expecting the Christmas update. Like, so when that happens, it's just like, well, this is nice. Like, this just made my week or my month. Like, just the little sprinkle of fun.
Yeah. No, we'll try to add stuff that's just like makes the game better in general, of course.
Like apart from the actual, another level boss, whatever. So we also like make the game better continuously. So and playful things.
Like for example, when we had the fixing shit phase of the early access thing, and we're like, now we can say that we fixed shit, but we're fixing shit all
never
the
ends.
time.
It never ends.
That's like, I think anybody who understands game development, because I was a game tester for 3 years for Microsoft, so like I understand bugs, and I understand that you fix one bug, 3 more show up. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah,
and when you add something new, I remember every time they added a new gun or something, it was 3 weeks of testing around that one thing, because you have to filter out every single thing. And that can be hard for some people to grasp. They're like, why is there so many bugs in this game? Well, it's because you guys are adding stuff. Like, that is what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the reviews and stuff where people are positive, and like some most of the positive ones say there are some bugs. but we love it anyway. And then there's ones that say it has bugs. So it's like, it's like, and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever.
As if there's a game.
Everyone's
like not to.
It is what it is. Right?
Yeah, not to be in defense of anybody, but there's no game that's bug free. It's never existed, ever.
Yeah.
You can't even beat. Was it like Pac-Man? You can't even beat because it will crash out at some point. Like, and I got a weird one. Could you guys explain exactly what luck does?
Good question. I actually don't know what it does. It's been there for a while. I thought we disabled the luck stat.
Yeah, I thought we disabled it, but now our community have like meta strategies with luck in mind. So I'm I'm unsure if it's like still like
either is people are just like completely placeboed about this, or we forgot to disable it somewhere.
Wait,
that's because it was like outrageously, it was just ruining the looting experience at some point. So we disabled it, and that's what I remember. We also disabled charisma, because charisma was, you could just abuse it. You could just like unequip something and you can buy and sell infinitely and just get infinite money from a vendor. So we just had to disable it. And we explained that. But luck we never really explained, because I'm still unsure whatever is going on.
We're gonna have to, that's an Ola thing. He can probably answer.
Yeah, that's our programmer. Our
he's just gonna be like, I don't know, and then he's gonna check the code and he's gonna say, oh shit, yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, he had it. We talked about it a while ago, and then he said, it's in the game, and then he started looking to the code, and then he was unsure, and then I think we had to do other things. So it's just like it's still like in the air. But I think it's like the community says so, and they have a lot of knowledge about the game.
What we do know is that, like, for example, if you have a mutated enemy that has special powers and stuff, and certain enemies that are more difficult than other enemies, they have like a bonus to loot chance.
Oh, okay. It felt like that.
Yeah. So like if you kill the what the fuck are their names? The Hereditary Enforcers, the robots that sort of show up every once in a while, and people are like, "What the fuck is this robot?" That you're almost guaranteed to get a drop from those guys.
I noticed that.
So we suppose that's pretty much how we dealt with luck. We thought, but apparently luck is still in there somewhere.
Yeah,
but the charisma,
yeah.
When it came to the charisma thing, it's like we looked at games like other games that had charisma as that sort of like Fallout and stuff, where you could like, oh, you have charisma, then you can do this and do that. But those games don't really have items that you can equip that sort of temporarily increase your charisma, and then you just drop them off. Or like perhaps they do, but it's like very, very few things. And you don't sort of like come back to a place where you can sort of like hoard shit and sort of like always get a discount because you have an entire set of high heels or whatever the fuck it is that gives you luck or charisma. Crown.
And honestly, it started as a joke. Like we were just like, because we had this ugly tunic.
Yeah, the green
that
tunic.
everybody hated. Like all the testers, like I hated it too.
Yeah.
It was like didn't give you any added armor. It was just like gave you charisma. It did nothing.
Yeah,
it
it's a
was
Diablo joke, sort of like the green tunic, and it's like you wear it and it says plus charisma, but in the game you pretty much just go around and like
kill things.
Yeah, decimate enemies and destroy everything and give stuff, and it's like, oh, charisma, that's nice.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke, and then we had an idea how to implement charisma, and that wasn't really thought out really well. So that during the fixing shit like week 1, we just like disabled it until we figure out a way to do it, make it better. And some people were really upset that we disabled the core part of the RPG mechanic. We were like, and I'm like sitting there like that. It was a joke. It was like a cheeky inside joke, but that's hard.
And it's super funny because like your charisma, we've also been thinking about, hey, perhaps there could be like answers or like stuff you can ask and talk about if you have a certain amount of charisma, sort of like Fallout, etc. But then again, no one fucking reads that shit. Like everyone, like as I've been spending like so much time writing like thousands and thousands of lines of dialogue and translating to 15 languages, but in reality, like there's only for the people who actually like, oh man, I really love lore.
I mean, not even like
really
the development team hasn't read the like whatever Simon wrote.
Yeah, but when I explain what the game is about, they're just like, oh.
Like this is real. This is true. This happens. No calling anybody out or anything because it's fine. But that's really the truth about writing for this game. And it's I mean we paid more than like 50 grand. Like USD to translate this into 12 languages. And it's like
it's so much
most people won't read this anyway, but it's
so many lines of dialogue, and like all the lore stuff is like if someone's like, what's the game about, I can like sit for hours and talk about the universe and what's actually happening here and whatever, and then I have like a really hard time to find places where I can actually squeeze that in so people will understand what the fuck is going on.
That's why we need the Edward Norton led Sulfur movie.
Exactly. We need the TV series.
I'm thinking, Tarantino or Scorsese's last project. I think we get them on board, and that's gonna work.
That together. We can do it together.
Whoa. I can't even imagine.
It's gonna be great.
I feel like Tarantino would bully Scorsese. Would just act like, because he seems like a nice guy.
Probably.
Tarantino does not.
What's that guy? I think Wes Anderson should do the movie.
That would be
that would be really dumb. That would be great.
That's the goal. It's got to be dumb. Wes. It's got to be Edward Norton. It's got to be stupid. And actually, doesn't
who's the guy that made Snatch and whatever?
Guy Ritchie?
Yeah, he could do it.
Yeah, actually, that's a good choice. Anybody but Eli Roth. The Borderlands movie. Eli Roth did the Borderlands movie. And
I haven't seen that, and I still sort of like.
I don't mind a poop joke, but when there's 15 in 30 minutes, I'm like, dude, like just one or two maybe. You can't do it tastefully. We get that, so. Yeah,
we only have one poop joke, I think, or two.
Yeah, it's a goblin cousin.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be poop?
No, I mean, he says something about it. I don't know what the fuck is he saying.
It's like, is that your mud?
Yeah, I hope that's mud. I hope that's mud you're sitting in, and then he says some of it.
Yeah, he said most. Yeah. I think.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly.
At least it's subtle, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We want to keep the jokes about. We want to make the jokes about sort of like dolphins and sort of.
Dolphin meat trade is. That's a good one. I mean, I certainly was taken back when I saw it. I was like, what the hell is going on? Black market dolphin meat trade? Like, it's kind of like a Futurama joke, is what the vibe I get from that. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a thing for cannibalism and stuff like that. So
I clearly, I mean, the Cannibal House in Forest.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
We love some cannibalism.
Yeah.
It made me
like
think,
any games with cannibalism we play, or I play rather.
have you guys ever considered like because like when I went there, I love horror movies, but in games I turn into just this massive weenie. And the whole time, the first time I went in the cannibal house, I was like, "There's gonna be a secret boss with a chainsaw, and my run is over."
Oh.
Have you guys ever considered like a secret boss?
Yes, we have. Like we have had ideas about this, but there's many things. They sort of just like, okay, is this essential for us to progress? Then we sort of, okay, let's push it back to the horizon feature creep list. That's next to the backlog. That's next to the other backlog. So
Yeah.
it's like
We have on
get pushed
Trello
back.
more and more columns, and like in the further back, it's Horizon feature creep, which is like 200 tickets of like stuff we'd love to do for the like fishing.
Yeah, which is like most of the sort of like Discord suggestion posts would end up there.
Okay.
Most of them, and like if it's not something we've thought about already, because we need to get to a certain point. But in reality, like we had one. I'm not sure if we should name drop him. Perhaps we should make him in the end, because like secretly Sulfur's this Christmas game. It's all about Christmas and Saint Lucia and sort of like
The terror bomb.
yeah, and the Star Lads, Swedish Star Lads. What the fuck are they called?
Stjärngossar.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Starboys.
Okay, there's which we clelebrate a tradition called Saint Lucy, pretty much for the Italian Saint Lucia. She's wearing white clothes and has like she has an entourage of like maidens and a bunch of dudes with like spiky hats that look slightly like the Ku Klux Klan, but not really.
But
and
it's
we
before.
celebrate that.
It's in from the before times. It was black and white before times, so it's fine.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the entire idea for like the Black Guild thing is sort of like a switched evil version of a Lucia train. So like the Novanian guard that throws the spiky ball, that's a stjärngosse. And we wanted to add a secret boss in the basement of the Lucia's castle. That would be the sugar baker, because there's a Swedish Christmas song called Sockerbagaren.
Oh yeah, that idea.
So it's like the song. He has a song where he's like, "Oh, the sugar."
He'll bake them small. He bake them big.
A sugar baker. He lives in the city. He bakes cakes all day. He bakes small and he bakes small ones and big ones.
And that would be like.
And we were like, okay, how about we put him in the basement? And he's like, just like he bakes humans in his ovens. And it's like he bakes small ones and he bakes big ones. And no one would get it except if they were Swedish.
Unless you know the lyrics of that specific Christmas song, and you kind of somehow figure out that it's a Swedish Christmas game.
Eventually, we're going to make a Christmas game bundle, hopefully.
Oh,
because it's like, and then people will figure out that it is an actual Christmas game, because it's very important.
Yeah. It's like the Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, that's honestly some like deep lore to the game that I had not picked up on, but I love it because Christmas is, I get a lot of shit from my wife that Halloween isn't my favorite holiday. It's Christmas. And I wonder if there's that weird synergy, even though I don't know the Swedish Christmas lore, that is like connecting me to that. I wonder how many Sulfur fans actually love Christmas, and there's that weird synergy there.
I mean, a lot of the food, a large percentage of the food is Christmas-based food, sort of like mulled wine and like the lussekatter.
Lussekatter, that pastry is like OG.
Swedish,
and also OG Sulfur lore. Like that was put into the game with next to porridge, like super early. So it's always been with us as kind of this.
We have Christmas spice.
Star.
Oh yeah, the Christmas spice. I couldn't figure that one out for a long time. Every time I picked it up, I was like, "Cool, I'll heal for 1 health or whatever." This is stupid.
Lussekatter is such a rare drop. When did you see one last time? I haven't seen one.
That's the like infinity cookie thing, right?
Yeah.
I
That's
find it a lot in
pastry.
Dungeon and Town. That's where I seem to find it.
That's good. Good to hear.
I think it's in town. It probably has a easier drop chance in town, because we tried to make sort of like town more like human food things. So it's more like flour and stuff. Flour and sugar and
stuff for baking, because humans bake.
Yeah.
Is bread drop higher there?
I think so, but it also bread
Yeah.
is a pretty high drop in caves as well, I think.
Okay, because I had like a weird headcanon that it was had to do with what was it, Tale of Two Cities or whatever, the Jean Valjean begging for bread, and that's a weird headcanon I had. I was like, that's got to be what it is.
100%. That's what
Yeah,
it was.
100% that. No,
Let's say-
I've never heard of that.
But Anton, we need more lore.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I was thinking.
There it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Hey, you're welcome.
No, we just try to stick. We try to stick to the Christmas themes, and it's going to be even more Christmas. And I think it's very important that, but also like, yeah, there's a lot of like stuff that has to do with Christmas in there.
I love that. I love that. I got one more like the hardballs, but I feel like you guys are just. It's gonna. I know exactly what you're gonna say. It's a Horizon thing, or maybe not, because this one to me is almost controversial because personally I don't think it's necessary, but I've seen a lot of people mention that they want like weapon skins or decals. But when I look at the guns, I'm like, I like the way the SOCOM looks. I love that yellow to it, and I don't think I would want these things, but I know some people do.
Yeah. So like it's one of those things that definitely was on the Horizon feature creep list, and it's been there since we pretty much made the game, because it's a lot to do with sort of like the it's just like it would just take a bunch of time. It's not that it would be super difficult to do. It would just take effort, and sort of like it's a lot of work to do. Because but also now it wouldn't be that insane. We can probably do it, and so we're sort of like softened up to the sort of idea it might happen. So, or at least we've been talking about it, and no one has been shutting it down. Sort of like
because before we were like, nothing more, don't add things.
But
like,
then we were
put
only
it on
4
the list,
people.
don't
Then we
talk
were
about
only-
it, just put it on the
yeah,
list, we'll
yeah.
talk about it later.
Because
you
then
know?
we were only 4 people, and there was
Yeah.
no one really dedicated to doing that specific, like those specific things that might like. But then now we have a bunch of people that's just like, I want to champion this, and they just start doing something. We're like, hey, fucking go ahead, like we would like that, and then it
That'd be
just gets
awesome,
in there. Yeah.
And then it just it's there. Like, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
I'm just like, every day I'm just like so grateful we have these people on our team. Shout out to our team.
Yeah.
It's that luck thing. It's you take a swing, man. I mean, I imagine when you guys met, it felt like really scary, you know. And then, I mean, now you guys are. I can't imagine what it feels like. It's probably like a victory lap that keeps going, but that's got to feel really good. You know, there's that boost of confidence to see people actually care, and that's
For sure.
that's awesome for you guys because you deserve it, man. Like I'm a huge proprietor of AAA. Has not been great for a long time. There's some examples that do end up pretty good, but indie games, it feels like is where the passion is, where the actual care goes into it, and where the new ideas come from. So I mean, that validation has to feel great.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does feel good.
I don't want to gas you guys up too much.
It's trying to be Finnish. How the
It's great, of course. Like, it's way beyond sort of like what our expectations were. Because I'm a total cynic, so I always lowball any estimation just because, hey, then I can be positively surprised that it went good and then I can also be like, I told you it's going to go to shit, which is great. And Anton is like the complete opposite, so it's good.
You play both sides, so you always come out on top.
Exactly.
I wanted us to sell 150,000 copies for sure. Like, of course I wanted that too.
Yeah.
But it came earlier than I anticipated. Like,
Not even 1.0. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's great. So we hope it's gonna be, so we haven't released 2 consoles yet, so it's gonna be like, there will be resources to sort of like keep doing it as long as there are people that are willing to buy it. As long as people don't buy it, as long as people keep buying it, we'll keep working on it in a certain amount, of course. If people stop buying it, then you're gone, guys. Keep buying it, or we're gonna stop.
I mean, we all have family members. We could put in more effort, you know.
Yeah.
My grandma has a PC. I don't know why I haven't talked to her yet. You know, why don't you have Sulfur? I want.
Yeah, she's like, I love Christmas games.
Yeah. My dad bought it, and he was like, "It works on Mac, right?" And he hasn't played. Last time we played games was like 30 years ago, like King's Quest on like a PC. I was like, Dad, but he made it work, like through some Unix, some Linux emulator, something.
Linux is crazy with that
So
stuff.
he could die to the first goblin and be like, "Cool game, I'm proud of you, son."
Yeah, but I think we have like 5 Linux users or something.
Yeah.
We cater to them a lot.
I think we actually have 200
Okay.
Wow. That's crazy.
according to Steam. I don't know. They might just bought it on their and then play somewhere else. But that's what Steam tells us that.
I mean, Linux
Steam says-
scares the hell out of me. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, same. I have to use Adobe software, so I can't.
Yeah, that's a good excuse.
Is there, so are you guys ever planning on making mods more accessible? How do you feel about modding? It sounds like you guys are in like with it.
No, absolutely. It's really like it's really flattering. Like to begin with, it's just like to start with that. But also like we would love to support them more. But it's hard when we're in early access and we are revamping things and we're refiguring out again how to make it more performant and changing out assets and changing out how things work. So it's like hard to give them hookups or mod support until we know exactly what the game is in the end, because we don't want to start supporting it and then just like
they're going to be angry because we sort of like fucked something up and they've been working on it for a million. So we're just like, do whatever you do whatever you want, guys, but we're not officially sort of like promising that we're gonna keep supporting your shit to work.
But eventually,
but eventually, we'd love to. Like whenever we can put the resources in and make those hookups and be on Steam, workshop, like the workshop support. But it's nothing that we can, like we don't see like the end of the tunnel where we have official mod support yet. Okay. But it would be awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's more like we don't really have it feels like we don't even have the tools to mod the game. That's the way they want to mod it. So, almost.
Are we supposed to have access to the dev mode, or is that do you guys?
I mean, it leaked, right? And then it's too late.
Are you guys gonna let us keep that? I'm like,
we just figured because in reality, someone's just gonna like if someone we can't. Like people can still sort of like will always be able to sort of like decompile it and get that, even no matter how we disable it, pretty much if we don't do something really hardcore. And we also would like the people who test the game to be able to test the stuff so we can get the feedback of what doesn't work, etc. So it's like it would just be so much work to gate that, and I think that anyone who wants to cheat and summon stuff and do stuff, they will do that anyway. Or and they can do that in any game. Like that's like you can cheat in Doom, you can cheat in GTA, you can cheat in any game. Like we can't sort of like we'll let people do it because they want to do it. The people who play and just want to play it, they won't cheat. Like I don't cheat when I play games, even though I can.
Me neither.
Because it's like, well, then what's the point? That's my philosophy. But then people want to experiment, then why not?
But I do, if there's an exploit that's a part of the game without me actually using cheats, then I view that as a part of the game. Like in Final Fantasy VII, where you can like multiply items in the very end game, and they just left. It's just a mistake where you can duplicate.
But then we'll patch that eventually.
Yeah. But in modern days, you'd patch that. But like in old console games and stuff where there's a little exploit. The
only thing we don't like is when people take stuff that is from the dev menu and sort of like future lore stuff and like spawn in like future NPCs and stuff and talk to them and sort of like post images of it like it's some sort of like look what I found, guys. No one has ever seen this before, but in reality, like everyone who has been in the menu has already seen it and looked at it probably, but. Yeah. So then I'm like, we delete that and censor that and be like, please don't spoil stuff for the future of the game.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, I did that once because I got a bunch of I got a bunch of people that were like, can you please like go through the dev kit? And I'm assuming maybe they didn't have it yet. Maybe they're on concert. Like I'd love to look at it. But when I started the video, I was like, letting you know now. This is I'm ruining this for me. Like I don't want these spoilers, but enough people have asked me to do it. So I'm with you guys. I didn't want to see those. If I'm being totally transparent, I was like, I don't really I want to be surprised, but I'm sure they'll add more stuff. So I agree with you, but I gotta admit, I did it
for
myself.
sure, for sure. And I mean, I think you're going to be surprised anyway, because like, oh, this is where this is, etc. Eventually.
Oh yeah, there's a couple things in there. I was like,
yeah.
But again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I was like, what the hell is this for?
Some of it is completely broken, and we can definitely not sort of like guarantee that saves will work if you spawn that stuff into your stuff that is not in there into your inventories, and like talk to characters that shouldn't be able to be talked to, and your game crashes or whatever. So and also like teleporting to areas. Yeah, I mean all the areas that we're working on, that they are completely cut out of the code, so you can't get those. And also as well as the enemies, you can see them, but you can't really actually have them, as far as I know. Not
so.
Yeah. As well as sort of new weapons. We did leak one at one point by accident. It was a Death Star. It sort of like just came in there, even though it was supposed to be in a sort of like update. But and we're like, yeah, all right, then what the fuck can you do? I mean, but apparently, like we just decided at some point, like if people care enough to like care about that, then it's like that's good for us. Like as long as anyone cares, like in this attention-driven economy, if anyone gives a hell what the hell we're doing in any shape or form, we should just be happy with that and sort of like try to surf on this wave. We're grateful that people give a shit, even if it's like sometimes even if people are pissed at something, we can just like
at least there's emotion.
At least they have an opinion.
Because like the ones that really fucking fail, those are the ones that sort of like they get no attention because they don't create any friction. Like they don't sort of like they just like it's so smooth, it just like goes into the eyes and just out of the back of the head, and it's like, okay, that's something I never want to touch. Like has like 5 reviews on Steam and no one gives a shit because it's
that's got to be scary because you don't know. Like it's cool to you. Like I've made like YouTube videos where I'm like, this is the best thing I've like bragged to my wife. I'm like, they're gonna fucking love this. Like even this right now be my 100th Sulfur video. I'm still like, well, maybe people don't want. Like
who knows, right? Like it's cool to us. We like talking to each other and being on here. We think it's a big deal, but
and it's like you never know. And then you put it, but I mean, the validation's got to feel great, you guys. I don't want to just glaze you guys so much, but like it's crazy.
I mean,
no, it does. It really does. Like it's the ultimate. That's the ultimate kind of proof, right? That people actually want to spend time and money on whatever you created, which is like the hard truth about any creative medium. That's like if that people actually care, that's we're grateful. You cannot count on that.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you guys love your merch, and you guys already made a plushie ones that for that limited. Is there any other merch you're working on you could mention? Because I have one idea, but I'd love to hear. Is there anything else here? My idea is
we have a lot of ideas for that.
We love physical stuff for sure.
Yeah, we would love stuff like that. Simon,
a vinyl, for example.
Yeah, we'd love to make a vinyl. Brilliant. Simon has been asking since we started the project for scratch and sniff cards. That would be awesome.
So that's an entire sort of like rabbit hole in itself. You know,
wait,
have you played fucking Leisure Suit Larry 7?
No, I haven't, but I know what Leisure Suit Larry is.
So when you bought Leisure Suit Larry 7 in the box, there was this card inside with like a numbered scratch and sniff squares. And then when you went to a new area, a little number showed up in the corner, and it said Cyber Sniff 2000. It said a number, and then you should bring up the thing and scratch it, and then you could smell what it smelled like in the room. And it's so dumb. It's the dumbest shit ever. But it's like I loved it because it was such a sort of like it's super unintrusive anti-piracy. Like because if you buy the box, then you get the full stupid experience. But if you don't buy the box, then you just get the number up there and you'll never know what it was.
I think it jumps the bar though from being stupid to being like one of the coolest experiences you can have.
Exactly. But a lot of people are like, that's the gimmickest shit ever. But I think like just having it is the best joke. So I'm like, so I would have loved to make like an extensive one of those with like a lot of numbers on it and sort of like have that sort of like number pop up, sort of like when you pick up you could go into the options and be like, it enables sniff mode, and then you'd get like a cue for when you're supposed to take up your sniff card and be like, yeah, how does fucking oatmeal smell? And they're like, yeah, pick up what are they called? Or a hot dog or something. You pick up a hot dog, and it's like, and, yeah, exactly. And then and like
bolognese.
yeah, exactly, and like stuff that smells bad too, because then people are being like, haha, it's so fucking silly, right? And that's like I've been wanting that for a million years. We just haven't found a supplier for the cards yet.
Yeah,
because the ones we found in the US, we're sort of like, we emailed them and we were like, we need samples for all your scents. And they just like blocked the entirety.
I mean, you did that.
Yeah,
I emailed them and asked for like the proper ones that I actually would be suitable for the game. But eventually, she never replied. This woman, that whoever owns that enterprise, and then she actually IP blocked Sweden. So we have, because I tried to go back and like circle back and be like, oh, well, we released a game. It's actually profitable.
Like, this is not available in your country. I was like, what?
And no, it's just like we can't access the website. So I have VPN to America, and then I can.
What is it? Print a cent or whatever.
Print a cent. So apparently they don't want to work with us.
But... Yeah, no kid. What the heck?
But anyway, so since we started this project, and as I was pitching as the business developer for SULFUR, kind of trying to get funding for the game, whenever I came back, so that was always the question from Simon. He was like, so are we getting scratch and sniff cards? Are we rich now? You know, those are the two questions, basically. So I found the money, and we made the game, but we still don't have that figured out. So I'm asking for suppliers still. But that's one merch thing that we're definitely...
That's a great idea, and that's like in an age where the best thing you can do for marketing is get a YouTuber to talk about it, and then another YouTuber who's bigger, and there's always the bigger fish, and they're like, wait, a game with scratch and sniff? I hadn't heard about that from Leisure Suit Larry. That means probably, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the smartest gamer ever, but there's got to be other people that would be like, I have to try this right now. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Because
people think
it's also not very scalable, and also like it maybe translates really badly in videos that people are smelling things.
That's
and
true.
Just wow, it really smelled like that. People are like, okay.
Yeah, but it's not actually like it's totally not about actually being a viable thing. It's about being a stupid thing that a minority of people are going to want, or something that's like. Yeah, it's just silly. It's extremely silly.
I think that's where the coming from someone, because like my walk of life now is like making content. I don't like look at it as like that's what your guys' plan was. This is how we get really good marketing. It's just like an accident. Yeah. Like to me, when I hear that, I'm like, dude, I would fucking buy that in a second because that's just like so me. Like it's so goofy, and I would want to show people like, hey, if you play this game, you can do this. This is cool, and that's
can't play this game without the sniff, right? You need the sniff.
I have a really weird merch idea, but I don't think it's totally on me. Like I noticed one of the devs in Pluto has like a Clefairy icon in the Discord, and I remember someone talking. I could have sworn it was one of you guys talking about ripping Pokemon packs with their family like 6 months ago. It was you? Okay.
Yeah, that's Simon, 100%.
You guys, with all the loot and stuff you've made, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. The potential for a trading card game with SULFUR could go crazy. It could go crazy. Have you ever thought about that? A trading card game.
Bunch.
Oh,
that would be a dream. Yeah. This is what Simon spends his money on.
This is all the SULFUR winnings from making the game. Just booster packs.
I got the same thing. I've got a whole Pokemon setup right here for ripping packs myself. So
it's great.
Have you ever thought about that? Hand drawing all that art, all that lore, could actually make for a really cool.
No, we'd love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We love it. We also love like analog games, and like we're also like indies at heart because we're part of the sort of Nordic sort of like non-monetary, just do shit for the passion indie scene. So we love stuff that's just like hey, let's make a card game that no one's ever buying or playing. Or
we admire that. We have friends, developers who just do that over and over, and we can't like.
I don't know, like City Cards Nights.
Cards City Nights.
Cards City Nights. Like we love that game.
I'd buy you out.
Shout out Velocity.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we'll make some booster packs. I saw that there's a YouTube channel called Snard Cards. Have you seen this?
I don't think
It's like a kid that is making his own TCG, and he just draws his own cards and laminates them. And I'm like, just let me buy booster packs of this because it's so dumb. Snard Cards, it's great. I would love to make a card collecting thing. I mean, the closest we can get currently is that we're gonna have to have Steam cards eventually.
Oh yeah, there's that. I can't believe I didn't put
But you
that
can
together.
play with them, you know? I want to play with my cards.
I mean, that's the best part about Pokemon is like having your binder, your top loaders, where you could just go through them and look at them.
Yeah, for sure.
My wife doesn't understand, but pretty shiny things make me happy. Like, it's fun to look at. And with all the unique art you have, I think it could work.
I have my framed Cleffa.
Oh, yeah?
It's always here.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that's the cool one with the shining, like the. That's an awesome card.
Yeah, I love it,
dude. So I don't want to take up too much more time, but I mean, I could yap. I'm a yapper. Like
we're also yappers.
Yeah, we're a team of yappers. Like we're more yapping than most developers. So we appreciate it.
Like everyone's remote, but everyone's just like talking all the time, and it's like Anton is like, "Are we actually gonna work now?" Like Monday meetings is just like takes the entirety of a Monday pretty much.
Yeah, I was worried in our DMs with Anton that I was coming across as like almost professional, but I can't help it. Like when you talk to me, I don't sound like my DMs. My DMs are like, "How are you?" And, like, "I hope your Friday is going well." It's like I don't know how to like type.
It's the American way.
Yeah. I feel like it looks off-putting.
And usually when that happens, when we get like long, like especially from sort of like any sort of like Asian countries, where it's like, I have this small suggestion, and it's like 2 A4, and it's like, and in the end it's like, could you add this to the game? And it's just like this long story and this long apology about why you're like, and in the end we're just like, sure, DM me, heart emoji. That's the Swedish way. Short and to the point. Yeah. Not as much as not entirely Finnish, because Finnish people would just like say sure DM me and not make a heart emoji. So
that's differentiated.
Yeah. I love that. The biggest thing I'm going to take away from this is the difference between Finnish people and Swedish people.
Yeah. That's what we wanted to convey the most. Because we just want to say that we are ready for Finland to take over Sweden. It's fine. Yeah. We think that we should just be the United States of Finland and tired of the Nordics. Even though we have no connection to it, we just think that they just make the best games, and they are generally good.
Yeah. But I did have a couple of like more just like weird stuff that I was like, I kind of want to ask. Like for one, I like to do like challenge runs. What do you guys think would be the hardest Sulfur challenge run that someone could do? Like, what do you think would be generally impossible to beat the game under certain circumstances?
Beat the game and beat all the levels in 1 second.
Okay.
Without shooting, we probably
without shooting.
We don't have enough melee. No, I don't know. Is that possible? I don't think that's possible.
No, it's not.
Maybe if you have enough jumping.
I don't think you can get to Lucia when she's above the body pit.
But
this is true.
I don't think you can get up there and hit her when she's floating up there. Or at least when I tried it, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no.
Right, that's probably
That's why we have barrels now that respawn for people to get ammo. So, it was a big problem that people got soft locked because they couldn't get ammo enough. Like this was probably like a year ago or something. I think we'll have like the respawning barrels happened like I don't know. When did Daniel start?
Yeah,
that's when the first thing he did.
Yeah, like January.
Yeah, January. So I mean, the hardest challenge possible, I guess that would be like I'm just so solution oriented. So I'm like, just like drink 1 million bottles of vodka and sort of like die. Then you can't finish the game.
There's so many ways you can't finish it. But I'm not very.
I don't know what people does. Like they do melee only runs, but then you have to beat Lucia.
Got to stay strapped just for that. Yeah, I found that out the hard way. I also found out grenades.
Yeah,
doing a run with just grenades is so freaking hard.
Oh, that's hard.
I don't think I raged more at any other challenge than that one. I was just like, at the end of it,
I love that there's like challenges. That's also one of those. Like, hey, let's just like decide, make quests for ourselves. Like we're gonna like that's usually things that you do to get achievements and stuff, right? But
Right.
we don't have achievements yet, so I mean, it's super cool that actually people give a shit about.
Yeah, it's just intrinsic rewards of just like I did the challenge. Like that's that's probably the most flattering thing. One of the most flattering things that happened to the game, I think, is that and modders. I think.
Yeah.
And also, of course, that you made a fucking have
100
videos.
Yeah. Like almost a dedicated channel. Like when we found that, we were like, "Is this real? Like, who is this guy?"
It was an accident. It all happened from one comment because I'm the most indecisive person you've ever met. And like when I made my channel, I was like, I just want to play indie games and then like try to find good games for people to play, and then also like sometimes bad games that are funny enough that people might, you know, find something in there, which I never seek out bad games. It just happens sometimes. And somebody, and I don't know the exact name off the top of my head, but my first Sulfur video, they were like, play more Sulfur, please. And I was like, that's all I needed. That's it. I was like, okay, so one person is I was just going to play it on my own time. And then this one person is the entire reason I made 100 videos. So
nice.
It's just like that for me. I was like, let's just keep going. Yeah.
We should send something to that person.
Yeah. Special privileges. They can have my password. They can have my YouTube.
We get them a sniff card.
An exclusive sniff card. I got a weird one. It's a little bit outside of Sulfur, but I realize I'm a huge movie buff, even like foreign films, but I realize I can't name a single Swedish film. Could you guys recommend something for my wife and I to watch that you love, that you absolutely love?
Do you like horror? Or
horror is my shit. That's number one for me.
Midsommar.
Oh, Midsommar? Oh, well, I was looking for...
It's not a Swedish movie, but it's like...
I love
it's
that.
It's like pretending to be in Sweden.
Ari Aster is my favorite director right now. I love that movie. But I was looking for something that's a Swedish language based with English subtitles.
No, you should watch Let Me In.
I've seen Let Me In. I didn't know it was Swedish.
That's Swedish. Låt den inte komma in. It's a Swedish author. Yeah.
Okay. I have one that we have a reference to in Sulfur. We have multiple references, I think, and we have a Swedish crime drama called Beck.
Beck.
So there's
I don't know if that's watchable.
There's a movie called Beck 8. There's a Beck number 8. It's called. I was going to say what it's called in English. It's called Trails in Darkness from '98. It's about like so the gun that's called Beck 8 is actually has a symbol on it from this movie. It's about this there. So
I love that this is getting out there. Now this is actually going to be public information.
There's kids in the subway system that has a secret LAN party down there, and they're sort of like dressed like sort of like post-apocalyptic kids, and they just like live down there, and they play this game called Final Doom. That's actually a Marathon 2 mod where they frag each other online, and they're called cool stuff like Kickfoot, and it's like, wow, Kickfoot. And it's like, it's obviously made by someone who has no idea what this culture is, or just like got some of it and then just like ran with it. And these kids, they play in the subway system, the shut down subway system, they play the game. And then when they get frags in the game, they need to kill for real. So then they sort of shut down the lamps of the subways. And they have like night vision goggles and machetes and just cut people up. And then they're like, and then the cops are like, this is insane. They're called the Kickfoot, and they're like this sign. It means death in internet language, and it's so dumb. It's dumb as shit.
It's really dumb, and we love that. But it's in Swedish. But
that's what the Beck 8 is from.
Yes, it's a reference to that. Yeah. There's a bunch of references, like
everything is reference to something dumb.
I figured there was quite a few. I noticed like the Breaking Bad reference with the suits and everything, and there's got to be others that I come across. I'm like, they're just falling down, like, which I love. Sure. I love the reference humor.
We also have like another reference is, for example, the dolphin, the weapon dolphin. It's called the dolphin because it's based on the color scheme of the dev kit, GameCube dev kit. That's called the dolphin.
Really?
So yeah.
That we anticipated as children for years, and we just like the next after Nintendo 64, we will get the Dolphin, and that was renamed, you know. But we
Wow.
still, that's the kind of
Yeah, so
inspiration.
that's the Dolphin. There's like everything almost has a. The Mario is also a reference. I'm not gonna mention
I
more about it.
figured the Mario was.
Yeah. Also, what is
Star and Witness
the
pretty
Star and
obvious.
Witness. Star and Witness is the most obvious one. If you're an MF Doom fan.
I love
it's
MF
like,
Doom.
Yeah. So it's like the rap snitch Knishes
Yeah,
song.
off of Food. Yeah.
So it's like.
Oh my God, you're talking about that's what that's from?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rap right now, but I know exactly. Are you serious?
Yeah. It's Mr. Fantastic's. Like he's like guard my life with twin Glocks. They're made out of plastic. Rap snitches don't know the business. Sit in court and be their own star witness.
Yeah, that's like the best line in the song.
Yeah.
I think I was listening to that like last week. Like I shit you not. I do love MF Doom.
Yeah.
The fact that I
insisted on me having that.
That's incredible.
That was important.
That's incredible.
So we have the twin Glocks made out of plastic. So I made 2 Nintendo Glocks that are color coded as the.
That's
Zappers.
what it is. That's what throws you off is they look like Nintendo. I thought that's what it was. Like when I picked it up,
it is
like,
that's also a reference to that, but it's also
it's also a reference to
That
and that's
so
kind of
dope.
what the soulful deep lore is. And most people are never gonna notice most of them, but
that's why we have to sort of like tell them.
Yeah, we have to explain it now. We're like,
no one can ever get this.
Yeah,
but I mean, there has been people who has gotten it.
And if there's a Swede out there who played the game, and there's the duhar that's shaped like a bird. That's reference to the Swedish YouTube meme. Du har fågel på dig. And you'll be the first to know that.
It's this guy who has a bird in his grill, like of his car, like a bird is stuck in the grill.
You have to explain it. It's like unexplainable. If you haven't seen that in 2008 on YouTube and it's Swedish, it's only funny.
Like, what are we gonna call this? And we're like duhar. It sounds a bit like sort of like desert combat or something.
What's
like
the used rubber in reference to?
It's mostly because I was funny. Like we had
That's what I figured.
It's just a dumb stupid pun because we had rubber as a thing, and I was making all the food, and then I was like, oh, we can make gum, and then I made gum, and I was like, haha, used rubber, and it will still make the same things. It's just like it's just exchangeable for rubber.
That was one of the problems we had internally. Like was when Anton changed that it gave 1 HP to eat. We're like, why did you make it consumable? Like why?
It's like it's the sound. It was just I wanted to.
He wanted to make it even more ick. It was like everyone like he wasn't there that day, or where we're like, why is it eatable? What happened?
I apologize.
No.
But there's also like Small Susie. I think that's watchable for a
maybe. Yeah.
What's it called? Slim Susie. Is that what it's called?
Slim Susie.
Yeah.
I mean, I love learning
comedy.
Others like
one of the characters there is named Pulsa. So the food.
Oh, okay.
That's not a reference, but it could have been.
It is now.
I mean, it's related.
I'm trying to send links. Can't send links.
So I decided I was actually going to edit a bit because I wanted to try to bring my volume level up where I could. So hopefully that does something and it helps because, I mean, it was so quiet. I hate that my computer tried to do that or actually succeeded to do that. And it was only for maybe the last like 30 minutes that it happened. So it wasn't too hard. I also tried to level out all the other audios, but kept everything else unedited. I just think that's better for this kind of situation for you to get every single piece of information and feel like you're not missing something. This is just a little small break. From here on out, I started like upping my volume, so it might sound a little weird. I decided no background music or anything throughout the interview. I'm sure you could already tell that. Nothing was edited out. Pure uncut, still has been, and keep going. Get back to it. Now, go.
I can.
Is there, you could throw it to me on DM. I mean, I saw that you did throw me a couple DMs. Oh, there it is.
I gave you Beck, Spår I mörker. So that's like a crime thriller series. That's super popular in Sweden, and the Germans love it too. So they watched it dubbed So Beck, it was like and like Swedish, like I think it's called like Scandi crime these days. It's
Okay.
like Scandinavian noir type.
I mean, I can't
Since
wait
the
to check it
90s.
out. I'm gonna
And
force
it's
my
just
wife to
like,
watch it.
Beck was big in the 90s, so we watched that. It was like, you know how you were like starved of anything talking about video games as a kid? So even if it was shit, like that Beck episode or that movie, and it's like, well, oh, it's almost related to games, you're like excited that something is talking about games.
Yeah, even if it's completely wrong. I mean, in America, everything in the 90s games, I mean, I feel like we've barely gotten to the point where movies and shows could like actually show what a game is like. Because even in like 2010, someone would be playing a game and they wouldn't even be moving the sticks or whatever on the controller, and they'd just be like esports level shooting, and it's like, you know, the attention to detail is barely getting there. So you're right, it was a starving kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like so starved. Like there were some movies that just had small references to games, and you were like, eat that up, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like it's actually not, you know, like these days you would never watch that for that. But yeah,
I can't wait to check it out.
check it out.
You'll be one of the few people not from Sweden actually saw this.
I love movies. I mean, I always say like games, I can't tell what came first, my love of games or love of movies, but the fact that Sulfur has all those references and everything is awesome. I mean, it just adds to experience, you know, and it feels even more personable to me because of that. I'm sure there's other people like that. You know, it's not unique to love movies. But
if you like old movies, if you can watch like classics, Ingmar Bergman, of course, is the most famous. You know, like Seventh Seal and stuff like that.
Wait, speaking of older movies, is the Dirk named after Dirk Diggler or?
Oh yeah, somewhat. But it's mostly like that Dirk is like, yeah, it's named. I guess it's named after Boogie Nights in a certain way, but mainly because it's named after the Diggler Dirk from Diablo 2.
Oh, okay.
That was named from Dirk Diggler.
Wow. I mean, Boogie Nights is my favorite movie. So like, when I saw that, I immediately I was like, please let this be Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, I mean that's where it came from. I mean, it wasn't made as a sort of like reference. I just thought it was cool that it was called the Dirk because it's a cool name for a knife, and it would be like, yeah, I don't know, it works. Like it's like when it comes to gun names, we're like, let's just like something cool and then a number after it. We have no fucking idea what happens. Like we don't know anything.
That's how you do the Beck 8.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Beck 8 and all of that.
What's the best indie game you both of you played in 2025 that isn't called Sulfur?
In 2025, I'm a Dota 2 addict. I don't play anything except Dota 2. What's the best indie game in 2025?
I'm always
looking for
It's only been 5 months. We only work.
Yeah, we weren't working too much.
You can do 2024 then. I mean, that's still new.
But our memories are shit too, so we lost. Like we can't remember that. No, I guess the latest I played was and enjoyed was the game Niklas made sound for. Well, fucking Trail. Niklas, Anton, tell me what it's called. Trail.
Overlook Trail.
Overlook Trail.
Yeah.
Overlord Trail?
Overlook Trail.
Overlook Trail.
Okay.
Overlook Trail. Check that out and keep driving.
Keep driving. I think I've seen Keep Driving somewhere. So yeah, that one looks good. Okay, cool. Because I'm always looking for recommendations, and to hear it from you guys is a sound recommendation.
I don't know if Overlook Trail is the best streamable game, but it's like one of those. When I played it was like a palette cleanser because I only play sort of like competitive MOBAs, so it's like one of those sort of like progressive rock albums type games where it's like just feels like you're sort of like passing through an entire record, pretty much, just like walking and
awesome.
Experiencing amazing sort of like scenery and stuff. Very sort of like impossible to be a monetary success, but it's like one of those things that you're just happy that was made. I'd say.
Like it felt like it was made for you, like that kind.
Yeah, or like it's perfect for someone who's sort of like ruined on content because we just like why would I play anything other than Dota 2? It's just the best game. I don't know what should I play. But
I'm still trying to make Simon play Returnal. You even have a PS5 now, right?
Yes, I haven't touched it pretty much. I'm waiting for Halo to get released.
So you can replay Halo? Like, come on, there's so many.
I mean, I'm trying to find a fucking co-op game that I can play with my kids. Halo is probably the only one I can think of that I would actually get them sort of like, okay.
Shredder's Revenge.
But I mean, that's an arcade game. Like it's just. I mean, I can play Turtles in Time if I want. Like,
Yeah,
sorry, Turtles
whoever made
developers.
that. Yeah, it's super cool. And
it's pretty super cool, and I sort of course, I had I want that to be made, but I'm not going to play it because it's not Dota 2 or Halo or anything.
You can play Vampire Survivors with your kids. That's a fun game.
Is it co-op on PS5?
Yeah, I think so. No, okay. I think they updated it.
Okay.
Shout out Punkal. They're super cool.
Yeah. Other indie games.
Well, I mean, those are good recs right there.
Yeah,
Overlook Trail, and
have you played Slay the Spire?
I have not played Slay the Spire, but I've been yelled at to play it.
Yeah, I've been yelling at Simon to play that too.
I can also play Ivan. It's an old game.
Yeah, play Ivan. Yeah, the Finnish old roguelike. That will shake you up. Like that's hardcore. You get stuck in webs and you throw up and get sick and break.
Yeah, it's very sort of like emergent. It's very emergent, and it's like you can like super advanced material systems and stuff. Yeah. But it's a slightly more visual traditional roguelike. It's not just ASCII symbols and shit. It's just like
okay. All right, let's check them out. I also wanted to give you guys a chance to say something directly to Sulfur fans. Like, is there anything you want to say to the fans who've just like shown up and just been super loyal?
If you ever wrote a negative review, change that shit. Change that shit to positive review. Okay?
Maybe that's against terms of service of Steam, so maybe we should. We didn't
don't do that.
We said we're grateful for everybody playing the game, and thank you so much for everything you do for the community. It's awesome.
Yeah. Also, like if you're thinking about like, oh shit, I want to help the guys out and I want to like buy it for a friend or whatever, just like give them the money, cash, so they can buy the game themselves, because then they can leave reviews that doesn't say product received for free, because then they don't count to the total. Thanks.
Yeah, we're grateful for no matter how you buy the game.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm just being normal Swedish jokester guy. It's okay. Relax, Anton. Relax.
Is there anything else you guys want to say? Like, you want to plug anything, or?
Do we have any friends games? The spider game. Acid
Tempest
Web.
Tower?
Oh, Tempest Tower. Acid Web. Shit.
Keep driving.
Super cool games.
What are we forgetting? I already plugged the Overlook Trail.
Yeah, you can go to sulfur.store and buy a hoodie. We barely make any money from the merch. It's just because we like it and we like to wear it ourselves. So
I'm gonna have to buy one of those, but it is it's 100 degrees right now in Arizona, so
I'm
gonna have to wait.
We just have to make tank tops.
So maybe a t-shirt over a hoodie.
Yeah. Do they have t-shirts on there too?
Yeah,
okay.
We do t-shirts.
I have to admit, I don't know if I've looked. I didn't know about.
Yeah, you haven't scanned the QR code.
Is that what that on the? I was gonna do that. I swear 100 times I've been like, I'm gonna scan the QR code. I'm gonna scan it, and I keep forgetting.
You keep forgetting? I keep forgetting. Oh yeah, because also it's like it's not very. Maybe not fun to look at. You look at your phone.
Yeah, because I'll be like playing. I'll be like, oh yeah, can you guys wait a second?
Maybe you can take a screenshot, like put it on some sketchy website that will scan it for you or something.
Yeah. Well, now I know. I mean, now I know just to go to sulfur.store. So I'm good.
No, that QR code will actually take you to the QR hoodie that we sell at the store. That will take you to the QR hoodie. So it just goes in circles. Like a virus.
If people scan the QR hoodie in the street, they will also end up at the QR hoodie.
They like, I can buy it too. And then like the whole city can just wear QR hoodies.
It was a total fail. Like it was guaranteed to work. Everyone buys a QR hoodie.
Sulfur ARG.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we talked a lot. I can't imagine.
I'm
sure we missed something that someone will tell me.
Yeah.
Why the fuck didn't you talk about this? And that's my bad. But they can always leave it in the comments.
But now you have enough sort of footage to train a machine learning thing and just AI generate their answers from us anyway.
That's
just,
that's next week's video. That's 101 right there.
Yeah, you just make the whole script of what you want us to say, where we promise everything, like, and just like it will be out next week or whatever. Like,
that's how I can make the TikToks, and then that
that would actually screw with us. That would be interesting.
No. I mean, in the future we can I can just deny everything and just say it's AI. So.
It's probably what's gonna. I mean, I don't want to get into like a tinfoil hat thing, but probably gonna happen for sure.
Yeah, it's probably already happened for sure. People are already be like, "It's Photoshop," like that's a defense in court.
Yeah, I miss when it was Photoshop because some of them Photoshops were crazy.
Yeah.
And now it's like
AI
can do that. The craziest Photoshop you can think of, AI can pump it out.
Make a video.
Yeah.
Make a video now.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me. I'd love to do it again.
Thank you.
You know, it's just awesome. And I just appreciate the game that you guys made and actually putting in that level of passion. I know I said it like 100 times, but like you guys keeping like it feels like indie games are being kept alive, or gaming is being kept alive because of indie.
Because of us.
Yeah, because of you
personally.
Guys.
Yes.
Specifically the Swedes.
Yes. The Finnish people also. Shout out to Finland.
Shout out to Finn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Thank you. Until next time. Thank you so much for having us. And I'm sorry we're so unhinged and we swear a lot, but you can beep it out if it.
I'm not gonna bleep it out. I don't do that. Somebody actually asked me that once. They're like, "Hey, I want to watch these videos with my kids," and I'm like, "It's a game. You can like literally shoot kids in the game. Like, I'm not going to censor myself when that's what the material is. Like, it feels weird."
Yeah,
I'll be the first PG Sulfur gamer. I don't think so.
Censor all the content constantly. It's really a good idea.
Thank you for watching the entirety of the interview, and thank you for watching 100 videos of Sulfur and supporting me through my journey in content creation. I never knew where this was going. It sounds like I'm retiring now. I'm not retiring or anything. There's going to be 100 more Sulfur videos and 100 more after that. There's no reason to stop enjoying the game. There's no reason to stop making content when I love every second of it. And from the sound of it in that interview that we just had, there's going to be a lot more to come. And I want to say another thank you to Perfect Random for doing that interview with me, because it was my first time ever talking to professionals in the field in such a way. I used to work in game design, so I mean, I talked to them just kind of like, hey, give me this crap or you're fired, and then yes sir, that was like all it was. But they're very, very nice dudes, very funny guys. It's no surprise that they made such an awesome game like Sulfur. You could feel the love they have for it after we talked with them. What is there to say? Just like, there's so much to be excited for, and I hopefully was able to ask some questions that you might have had. If I forgot one, just didn't even realize it could be a question, I'm so sorry. And just let me know in the comments, and then hopefully the next time I get a chance to sit down with them, I will look back on this comment section of this video. I know I will. And make sure to include those questions so that we can ask them again, because this was so much fun. I may have mentioned in the last video that I had plans to do other things for the 100th video. I still might do them. One of them was the realization that my hair when I started making Sulfur videos was much shorter than it is now, and I have not cut it since. This is my official promise that I am not cutting my hair until Sulfur 1.0. I'm going to let it grow as longer than it's ever grown before. It is very long right now. I got it up in a bunch. You can't really tell, but it is crazy, crazy long. It's just a fun little goal for me. It's not that crazy for you. It's fun for me. The other thing was talking to them about the next community event, which I will not disclose right now, but let me tell you, we thought of some ideas, and I will be working directly with them, or they will be working directly with me. I don't know. It's going to be a collaborative thing the next time we do a community event. I've already started talking to them about it, so that's another thing that I wanted to get going. Before we go, I want to give a quick thank you to the members of this channel. Thank you for supporting me and my wife and my son. I really appreciate you guys. You're amazing. Thank you. You don't have to do that, but you do. And I'll remember to keep giving you guys exclusive content only to members. There's some videos that I never uploaded that I've been giving because of some reason or another, and I've been pumping those out more recently. So back to the grind. We hit the big video, so I don't know what's coming next. I'm excited to find out. Maybe my review of the Beck 8 movie. I can't wait to see that movie. I mean, it sounds insane. The description of it alone sounds insane. I still haven't eaten, so I'm gonna go. I need to go eat. I'm actually gaunt right now, and I'm gonna be gaunt. Bye.